Hey everyone, it's Adar. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so happy that you're here today, especially because today I'm going to have a conversation with 6 of my New Sound students. In this conversation, you are going to hear about their story and how they went from feeling frustrated, angry, and stuck in their English to feeling confident, free, and clear. They will share with you their transformation story and what is now possible for them now that English is no longer an obstacle. These stories are inspiring and I really hope you enjoy listening to them. Let's hear it. Hello everyone. Welcome to my favorite type of session of all, which is our student panel. Hello everyone. It's nice to be here again. We are inside the pronunciation training still. We had it last week. And this week we wanted to offer you this beautiful bonus session because it's so important to understand what it's really like for other people. We talked about theory, we talked about all the things that you need to do to improve your fluency and your confidence, but there's nothing like the real stories of real people who will share with you what it has been like for them working on their English, getting into the habit of learning and practicing, working on their pronunciation, and ultimately what is possible for them now that English is no longer an obstacle. So today, I am so honored and proud to invite my amazing students, Luciana, Rosario, Muxiang, Sheena, Fred, and Antonina. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Hadar. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
Everyone.
How is everyone?
That's fine.
Very excited.
Good. Excited, slightly nervous, so good.
Nervous is
Yeah.
good. Nervous is good. It keeps you on your toes, right? Like it's like that. I love that exciting energy that I get when important things happen. So let's just go around and why don't you each introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what is up, where you're from, how you're feeling today, and maybe we're gonna start with that. What was your biggest challenge in English a year ago? Okay, and then we're gonna talk about what it looks like for you today. So who wants to start? Wuxiang, why don't you start?
Hello, everyone. I'm Mushan Payersky. I'm currently a project manager who actually speaks English every day. And prior to this project manager position, I used to be a graphic designer and creative manager in that creative field for over 20 years, both in China and also in the United States. Talking about China, I moved to the United States 16 years ago. And I will talk about the journey later, right?
Yes, but you can talk. How was it for you to get to the US 16 years ago? How was it for you in terms of English?
Oh, in terms of English, it's a long way to go. Go back to my teenage year. And in my first language, I was already insecure about my accent because where I'm from, in the southern China called Hunan, I had this accent with the L and the N mixed all the time. So when I went to the city, I was laughed at. I was a village girl. And one time when I was trying to enter to a recital speech contest, I didn't even get a chance.
Oh
And
my God.
my classmates were laughed at me. You couldn't even dream about it with your accent, with your village look. You will never be able to get in front of the TV or a camera. That scenario really imprinted in my mind. Over time, I was all thinking about my accent, how it drew me back. And then fast forward 16 years ago, I moved to the United States. And this type of insecurity
Yeah.
because of the language came over again, even though after many years I worked on very, very hard. Because when I came to the United States, I had the language barrier, and then I did to start over. I went to ESL and went to school here, so I got a degree and worked here from a startup job to be a manager position. But over time, and in my head, I was always insecure about my language, about my accent, subconsciously. So,
Would you say that that image that you had of yourself, has it prevented you from doing things or taking more active part in the community or speaking more English?
yes. In fact, I wanted to prevail every time when I face the challenges, because this is back again. I was the third daughter in my family, and I grew up as an invisible child because I was born during the one-child policy. I don't know if any of you were aware of that. And then my brother was born 3 years later. I was not wanted. And after he was born, basically I was grew almost like I didn't die. It's already good enough. So I always had to rely on myself. And so whenever if I felt I was judged or I was not supported, I just have to trust myself and try harder on my own to prevail. And over time, I came to the United States, and all over again, I had the struggle I think most immigrants experienced. You need to start over from the familiar situation to a total different places, and without family, without friends. And I came here because of my husband. And I also had another layer of judgment from others, as my husband was a lot older than me. So when I go out, even when I just moved here, many people would judge me. I came for the money. And so
and you were so used to dealing with this judgment, so you felt like it's okay. It's a natural part of, like, you know, immigrating and living and speaking a second language, even though it doesn't have to be this way. But it's kind of like that's what you knew.
Yeah. So I knew I had to just have to try to keep me being independent. And of course, for a very long time, I was relying on my husband, for example, driving and language translation. It was frightening for me to make a phone call when I just came here. I thought I was very confident enough, but once you get into a new situation and you don't feel like you have all the tools that you have to go out, and you just feel really restrained, trapped.
And for how many years have you experienced that feeling of feeling trapped and restraints and limited? For how many years living in the US, especially when it comes to speaking English?
From speaking English, because I went to ESL, I also went to university here, so I got enough of opportunities to practice. I didn't feel I was restrained too much until when I was looking for a job. I spent 4 months to land my first full-time job. And I personally, I didn't think it's because of my English, but sometimes when I come home, my husband, who is very smart, and he is supportive in some way, but not with verbal language. He would say, it's probably because of your language. That's why you couldn't land the job. And this type of language, it just confirms the insecurity I felt that it's because of my language. And so
and
until
when we have those insecurities and we hear any type of feedback from the outside world, it just confirms it, and it feels like this is true, like this is the reality, and then we behave according to it.
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't good enough. My English was never going to be good enough for me. Until I found my first job, and my boss told me he looked at my communication skills. He liked that. Even though I didn't have the field experience in digital marketing, email marketing particularly, but he hired me for my communication skills. That really boosted my confidence.
This is such a good point, because for a lot of people who are afraid to apply for jobs when they think, oh, my English is not good enough, they have to remember that people are looking for people with skills and with good personality and communication skill. And it's not all, like, people are not going to disregard you because you make mistakes or you sound a certain way.
Yeah. And fast forward, last year, I changed my career from the creative field to project management field in marketing technology in a much bigger company, a global company. And again, they lacked my communication skills over my technical skills because I didn't have project management certification or background in college.
Okay, so let's move on to Rosario, and I'm going to come back to you to hear about what happened to you over the last, let's say, few months or 6 months, and over and how it was in the job. But for now, let's thank you, Muxiang, and we're going to come back to you. And Rosario, you're next. So hi.
Hi, Hadar. I'm so excited to be here today with you, and I'm honored to be invited to share my story. 1,000 thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I hope I can also help some of that are watching this live to make the right decision. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Rosario from Italy. I work as a software engineer in a company located in my hometown, and I'm 43 years old. I have a bunch of hobbies and passions, like traveling, first of all, photography, music, arts in general, and last but not least, the English, of course. About my story, I started studying this lovely language at school when I was young. And at school they usually work on grammar rules and few common sentences, and that's it. So after I used my English for how can I say, a kind of business English for my job, and without going into depth. And so let me say that the real English has been locked in my drawer for, how can I say, many, many years. And then the last summer in the 2022, I spent, as I usually used to do, some days abroad. And that time was in Sweden. I had a lovely time there with my family, with my friends, and I'll never forget that moment. It was during a dinner. And there were some people there that spoke only Sweden and English. Now I don't know any words of Sweden, so I had to talk in English.
You never know what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, sure.
For now,
For now, not. So I had no possibility I had to speak in English. So I said to myself, what's the problem? I can do it. And I start to speak in English. And after a few minutes, I stopped because, because I don't have the confidence. How can I say? I have a lot of things to say, but thought didn't come in mind.
Yeah.
Uh, so I usually used to translate sentences before to talk. So I was okay. The feeling was one of anger rather than shame. I was frustrated, furious with myself because I said I learned English for so many years. For what?
Yeah.
I'm not able to speak. So when I came back at home in September, I started to take some private lessons. Um, I had the possibility to have free lessons with some teachers, but it doesn't work because we have limited speaking time.
Yeah.
And
It
so
was like a group session, a small group session.
yes, but the teacher only introduced the topic and that's it. We had just 5-10 minutes and enough.
Yeah.
So I decided to sign it up to in some languages exchanges app, famous, and I start to speak with many people, but it doesn't work again because the thing is that the environment it was not safe. I was not able to express myself as I wanted.
Why do you think that is important? Like, why does it matter what your environment is like? Why should it affect your fluency?
Yeah, first of all, when you are in a safe environment, you can share with how can I say, with any fear your thought without um, thinking that some people are judging you or things like that.
Yeah.
I always felt at home in New Sound. So, uh, yeah, but the thing is, at certain point, I decided to give up with my English when, while I was searching for some stuff for related to my job, I discovered a video from Hadar about the shadowing.
Oh.
I discovered this word, this technique, and I was looking for the right way to do it. And I listened to this video, and at the beginning, I don't remember the exact words that you used, Hadar. If but at certain point you said, if you are new to my channel, then hello, I'm non-native speaker. Non-native what? You inspired me a lot because I said, okay, non-native speaker, so I can do it. So I can try. I can give it a try again. And so I uh, joined the free influency community, and I recorded my first video with an Italian strong accent. I felt like a robot, but I was determined this time to embrace my problem and to start again with my English. And
I'm so happy that you found your motivation back and got inspired to get back on track.
it was anger, not shame. I was really furious with myself. So I decided to give it a try, and if you want, I can continue, or
Yeah.
I can just
So
stop.
maybe we will when we talk about the transformation, and Alessandra here has a question for you, so we can come back later and talk about
Sure.
the transformation. But thank you, and thank you for sharing with us
Thank
your
you.
background story, Rosario. And now let's move over to Luciana.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Hadar. Thank you so much
Hi.
for inviting me to tell my story. It's an honor to be here among the successful people. And to introduce myself, I'm Luciana, Brazilian, but I live in Portugal since the beginning of 2019. So I live in a non-speaking country. I'm married. My husband is Brazilian as well. I have a cat. She's Portuguese, so I don't need to speak in English with her. But I use in a daily basis, almost in a daily basis in my job. But I needed to improve my English to get this job because I work as a UX designer remotely, and I was working here in Portugal, and I wanted to grow in my career. And even in Portugal, they look for people that speaks English fluently. And in the interview, I could speak fluently because I memorized the text that I needed to say in the interview.
Wow.
But then in the meetings, I couldn't. So in the beginning of the last year, I got a job in the US as a freelancer, and they had meetings in a daily basis. And I got really scared because I couldn't even understand, and my listening skill was not good at that time. And I needed to go to meetings every day, and oh my God, I can't. And then I felt panicked, I felt ashamed, and I felt like an imposter. I thought, I don't deserve this job. I can't understand them, and I can't speak. So I avoid the speaking. I try to communicate only by writing. And then I didn't continue on that job because there were other reasons. The manager of the design team was too toxic, so all the design team quit. But
Wow.
I had some kind of push at that time, that some kind of click that said, you need to improve your English if you want a better career, if you want to grow, if you want a better job, if you want to be yourself and speak when you need to speak. But at that time, I thought, oh, my pronunciation is terrible. I feel ashamed. I can't practice because I feel ashamed. I felt so blocked. And I started to looking for programs, and I like Rosario, I found some group classes, but it was only 10 minutes with a topic, and I didn't got any progress that in that way. So one day I was looking for videos in YouTube, and I found a video of you about pronunciation. It was about August last year, so I think it was almost starting this sound, but I couldn't join at that time. But when I knew that you were a non-native, I was so, wow, but with this pronunciation, really? And I think her language is even harder than mine because it's another alphabet, a different sound. So let's see. And then I subscribed, I binge watched it, I subscribed to the podcast, and I thought, I need this, I need to invest in this, and when I have the opportunity, I will join the sound. So yeah, this is a summary of my story.
And luckily you did last May. March, that was.
March, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, amazing. I love what you said about, having that aha moment where you said, maybe I don't have to improve my English now. No one's demanding me to do it, but I know for my own personal development and just for yourself to know that you did it, like Rosario that said, I was just angry with myself. So I needed to prove to myself that I can do this. And this is why you said, okay, this is when I'm going to take clear action and start doing something. And I appreciate that, because I do think that English is not the end goal. It's just a tool for you to get a better, to create better circumstances for yourself, better opportunities, a better job, a promotion, and so on and so forth. So I think developing a language is very much like developing like any type of personal or professional development. It goes beyond just like the language skills. Mm-hmm. Anyway, thank you so much, Luciana. And we're going to move to Sheena.
Hello, Hadar. Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's such
Thank
a
you
great
for being
honor
here.
and an opportunity because this is my first ever interview on live. So thank you so much.
I'm very, very happy to talk to you here today and for people to hear your story. So tell us a bit about you and what made you decide to start working on your English.
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Sheena.
I'm
I'm
still here,
originally
don't
from,
worry.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Okay.
You can go
Okay.
ahead. Hold on. I'm gonna change my camera. Just a sec. There it is.
Okay.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes. So, hello everyone. My name is Sheena. I'm originally from the Philippines, but I've been living in the US for almost 8 years now. I'm also a mother of two kids and a stay at home mom. And I am very, very passionate about learning English. I would say that this all started when I discovered Hadar on YouTube about 10 months ago. But I also want to say that my English journey was a tough one.
Mm,
It felt like a big challenge for me that I couldn't overcome because I was never exposed to English when I was growing up. My family and even the people around our neighborhood couldn't speak English at all. So, and aside from that, like I got bullied in school, and learning English was definitely a challenge one for me.
wow.
Yes. And then fast forward to, like after college, I kind of decided to take a leap of faith and move to the US because I just want to prove myself to try to live independently and to experience all the things that I've never experienced before when I was growing up. But I was never prepared about learning the language. I thought that I will be fine having just a basic English. But when I first came to the US, I was so scared. It took me a while to find a job that I really liked. And yeah, and it was definitely a big struggle for me. I remember I applied for a front desk position, and it requires a lot of speaking and being able to help the guest with
Yeah.
any of their questions and inquiries and anything else. And I came up with like a silly idea of memorizing a lot of scripts just so
Mm.
I can survive working because I only had basic English. And for me, it worked really well, but
It's a very resourceful, solution
yes,
that gets you like quick results in short term, but it doesn't solve the root problem.
no, not at all. Because whenever like I put on the spot and people would ask me some personal questions, even the easiest questions, like I tend to freeze and like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. If, when people would ask me like, how are you doing? How was your day? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but if you ask me about work related stuff, like I can answer anything that you want to know. So that was my biggest struggle. And I would say that the biggest or the most significant turning point in my life was when I became a mother and when I discovered you on YouTube. Because it happened last November. It was like 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, and my husband came to me and told me that, hey, we're gonna spend Thanksgiving with my family. And, I don't really like social gatherings because of my English. Like, I know that whenever I attend, celebrations like that, like I'm always alone or like they would
Mm,
ask me questions and I just end up embarrassing myself because I don't know how to express myself. I have a very limited English. But since I'm already a stay-at-home mom, like I couldn't find a way to refuse to not to go, And so that was my turning point in my life. And I saw that my kids were very excited to be with my family. So I'm like, I really need to do something about myself. I really needed to change. And then all of a sudden, like I just started imagining the person I want to become.
mm,
And that's when I realized that I just want to be confident when speaking with anyone. That's
yeah.
all I ever wanted, being able to express freely And so I was like, okay, let me just look for some strategies on YouTube on how I can, like improve my communication skills. But then when I discovered you, I was like, you just gave me more than what I asked for. It's like, like a complete pack. Like you've also created like a positive impact in my mindset and my confidence, not just with my speaking, because I already was able to overcome that, but you also helped me work through with my mindset and with my confidence. And since then, like since last year of November up until now, I'm still like deeply in love with learning English. And
Oh,
yeah, it's
wow.
something that I always look forward to every day. Yeah.
I think it's so important to be able to enjoy the process because
Yes.
all of you shared here an experience of learning English but not really enjoying it, not seeing progress. And I think that when you don't enjoy something and when you feel like it's not helping you, you also just don't learn. Your brain is like, shoot,
Right.
locks down, and then it's really hard to be flexible and elastic and to be able to take what you learn and put it into practice. Also, you don't want to waste your time being annoyed with things you need to do. So I love it that you found joy in learning English. Beautiful. So we're going to continue, and then I'm going to come back to you, and I want later for each of you to tell us what was your biggest moment of transformation, like what would mostly helped your work. But for now, let's say hi to Fred Silva. Hi.
Hey Hadar, how are you? Hey guys.
I'm good. It's good to see you again. So, I'm interviewing you the second time actually.
Yeah,
In different contexts. So it's beautiful to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the opportunity to be here to share a little bit about my experience. And yeah, it's the second time you interviewed me. I interviewed you as well. So for me was wow. Was a great time. I really loved that conversations, and I think people love it too. So I'm happy with the result of that because you have like a charisma that I don't know that people get attracted by you because the way you talk, it's like very powerful and people get like so comfortable hearing you. So I think this is one of the reasons I decided to become your student last few months ago. And speaking a little bit about me, I'm Fred Silva. I'm from Brazil. I never been in an English speaking country yet, but it's one of my dreams. I want to go one day. And I'm an entrepreneur. I am in the digital marketing field. So I'm a digital marketer. And I start to study English in the end of 2018. I start to, look for content on the internet, look for courses. And in 2019, I started a course, an online course. And because I want to focus in my speaking skills. I am the person that I like to focus in one thing at a time. So I decided to focus before to focus in my speaking skills because I want to talk. I want to talk in English because I was very shy, I'm confident now, but before I was like a disaster. I couldn't speak even in my own language, but imagine in English. And then I started a course and I started developing this skill to speak in English. And I noticed that I was good to helping people to to encourage them to improve because I was doing something, I was challenging myself, and I challenged other people to do the same, and people are getting so good results. And then I started to think, okay, it's good to motivate people, to help people to improve and everything. And in January 1st, I started a YouTube channel. I started a podcast on YouTube just to help people to gain confidence to speak in English. And when I start to do this, every time when I was watching my videos, like because I need to review everything after the edition, I got like, my pronunciation is not good. I start to doubt myself because, I am so confident, but my pronunciation makes me less confident. And then I start to think, okay, I need to do something here because my pronunciation is not good as I want. and I thought, who is the best teacher to teach me pronunciation? And I remember you because a good friend told me about you a few years before, and I started to watch your videos and everything. And I need to say that the first time I saw your video, I didn't know that you are not from the US. I saw you in Israel, but I thought you are an American that lives abroad. So I got like when you said I'm non-native English speaker, I got like, wow, this is awesome. So and then I thought one day I will study with this lady because she's great. And then I remember that when I thought about my pronunciation, and then I said, okay, I don't know how much it will cost. I don't know if it's cheap or not, but I will study with Hadar because I think it will help me so much to improve my pronunciation. And yeah, the rest is history. I became a student. I am happy with the results because every time when I was trying to say words like big words, long words, or words that are tricky for me, like with the cluster R and L something, I got like, that's not good. I was ashamed when I hear myself saying that word because of this. I start to be less confident because of my pronunciation in few words or something. So, and yeah, that's it. And I need to say that I need to say thank you for my friend that introduced
I know. I need to
you to me
friend.
because yeah, it was great. So, and that's it. This is a little bit about my story.
Wow, and I think it's very clear, especially when you have a YouTube channel or a podcast, when you're constantly confronted, or you have a lot of meetings. Let's say maybe you need to watch them, or you tend to record yourself. Like it's a fantastic way to measure your progress, but also it's like a reflection on all the things that are going well, but also all the things that are not going well, which is, this is why I think you have this high awareness around what needs to change. And good. And I think because you deal with the language, you talk about the language, this journey for you was even more than just about pronunciation, but also to explore what it means really to transform one's English and what is needed. Because, obviously it's something that is very close to your heart. So I'm glad that you found it helpful. Okay.
Yeah,
So.
And the passion about English just grow because as
Yeah.
much you improve your English, you get so much more passion about it. I think it's I love this language. I usually say that Spanish was the language that I love the most, but I changed my mind after I decided to start to work with this. And for me right now, English is my passion. I really love it.
Don't worry, we won't tell Spanish that you have the new
Okay.
We won't tell. Okay, so next we have our lovely Antonina. Hello, last but not least, how are you doing, my dear?
Hi, thank you. I'm doing great. So yeah, hi Hadar, hi everyone. Again, it's like as everyone said, it's nice to be here. I'm also slightly nervous because it's my maybe first time speaking in front of so many people, and then it's in English, which is like, yay, the first time I'm getting interviewed.
Even more so,
yeah. I'm actually, so my name is Antonina. I'm originally from US. Oh my God! Originally, I'm from Ukraine, but I've lived in the United States, for almost 16 years now. And I'm actually a tutor of English, but my relationships with English, like the complicated ones, because I actually studied in specialized school, and my school was specialized on language learning, but the target language was Spanish. And I sort of I had a very good grades in Spanish, and I perceived myself as like successful language learner. It's what I wanted to do. I wanted to study languages because I felt that I'm good at it, and I felt like proud of it. And then I graduate from my school, and I have to go to college, and I need English, not Spanish. No one needs Spanish. You need to go to work. You need English. And then I started studying English, and it's like completely messy. and nothing works out. And I'm talking like, Ukraine about like 20 years ago. So we are talking like basically no internet. You don't have internet at home. It's good if you have computer at home. There are no online classes. There's nothing. And a lot of the education of English, it's like, you open a grammar book and you start like cramming it, and you do the exercise and nothing moves, and you spend hours at it because you need it for the university, for the college. And it's like, the only thing that I struggled with in college was the English. I just couldn't get it. I went to like the classes, like the actual class where you go and you talk to English, and like, I completed the course. I still don't get English. I started working. I got to the company, and my company, it's like a large international company. We have office in the Great Britain. And I received that call from the Great Britain, and I get someone speaking English on the other end, and I understand nothing.
Like, why do you think that is, Antonina? Like, so you're not the first one saying here that like I learned English and then I, went out into the world and I felt like I knew nothing. Why do you think that is?
I think like I think a lot of it was a problem, the way we studied English in Ukraine, where it was a lot about grammar. It was a lot about translation. It was very little about speaking. You have a class of like 30 people. Almost no one has an opportunity to talk. Half of the lesson of English is like in Ukrainian, most of it, right? And you just don't hear people. You don't understand how to like perceive, how to understand spoken English. And then, of course, you're afraid to speak, and you start speaking and people don't understand you because we never learned proper sounds. We just substituted Ukrainian sounds, whatever worked best.
Right. Pronunciation was not even,
and then you just hit that wall where like the person is speaking, you don't understand them, you're trying to say something, they don't understand you. And I got married, and my husband got a job offer, and we moved to the US. And originally it was like for the first 3 years. And again, I arrived, so my husband went ahead, and I arrived to the airport on my own. And I basically like, I don't understand anything. Like my Spanish helped me more, because back then in Chicago, some of the signs were in Spanish. There was like some translation, something in Spanish, and I used more Spanish than English to get through. And I remember going to the stores, like, to the simple grocery store, and what they ask you, like, do you need a bag? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. That was it. I just couldn't even say if I need a bag or not. I was so terrified. People would ask me for directions on the street, because, well, back then people didn't have smartphones with a map, and people occasionally would ask you for directions. And I again would say, I'm sorry, I don't speak English, even if I understood people, because, right, I understand what they're asking for, and I could probably say that you need to go like through the head to turn right or something. But I was terrified that they won't understand me anyway. There's like no point, they won't get it. And actually, like taking the English second language class in United States, it helped me a lot. And it was a very different experience, where you actually hear people speaking in English. And it helped me a lot. Also, it's like, internet in US was way more affordable. You like get online, you start to see stuff in English. And things moved very fast for me from that point. But the only issue was that my teacher on that class, she said, like, guys, you are too old at the moment. You will never get rid of your accent. So you just forget about it. And that's what I've done. I forgot about it. It made my life easier. But again, what I was doing for 15 years or so, while I felt that I'm fluent in English, I can understand everyone. Yes, people occasionally have trouble understanding me, but it's like, well, I have an accent. What can I do? There is nothing that can be done about it. And I just I just kept substituting the sounds, just using Ukrainian sounds, and were the way I could. And then at this point I started loving English, because the process of learning changed a lot. I went from totally hating it and being frustrated to the point where, wow, I like how people learn English differently. I like learning through listening, through talking. And I have to admit that I had to while people put too much sort of like expect too much from living in the English speaking country.
Mhm.
But if you are like Sheena, who is like a stay-at-home mom, or in my case, I had some chronic health issues. So for a while, I was like just stuck at home, and the only people I could speak in English were my doctors. It doesn't give you that much, like, you can have like all the English surrounding you.
Yeah.
If you stay at home and talk to your husband in your native language, you don't get much.
And sometimes I have students who have been living in the US for 16, 17 years, but they live in communities where the entire community is in a different language than English. And there is no need, so there isn't, nothing really pushes them to get out of their comfort zone and to go out, even out of the community, because that's even more challenging, even beyond the language, right? So you're absolutely right. Living in the US doesn't necessarily guarantee now, okay, fluency for all, because you still have to work hard for it.
But still, like, I got some level of English where I was already proud of myself, and I decided that I want other people to help other people to learn English. So I slowly enrolled into like becoming a tutor, and I started helping other people. And that's when I went I started like looking a lot online at other teachers, like how do people teach. That's when I found you, and that's when I realized, okay, so there is something that can be done to your accent after 13 years old. And that's when I realized still like how much I have yet to learn. And I have to admit that even though I came to the new sound believing that I already know a lot, at some point I got terrified by how much there is for me to learn. So that was like scary.
Okay, so we'll keep people in suspense, wanting to know how you dealt with that fear. And I'm going to move on to the next question I have for you. And Sheena, we're going to start with you because I know you only have 10 minutes where you can share your stories, and then we're going to go to Muxiang. But in general, for everyone watching this who don't know what New Sound is about, so all of these beautiful people are New Sound students. Some of them are in Beyond as well, but New Sound is the program that we're going to talk about today, and it has three major elements that work together. And one of them is really like simplifying pronunciation, understanding pronunciation in depth. And within pronunciation, I include prosody, intonation, rhythm, stress, and of course, all the key sounds of English, prioritizing your sounds and practicing effectively. But also we put a lot of emphasis on confidence and mindset work. So transforming how you think about English and your attitudes towards English, towards your practice, how you learn, how you think about yourself in English. And then the last part is community and coaching, which is something that is also a dominant aspect. As you can see, and they can tell you the community has been a big part in their journey. They've been very open in conversation groups, in live videos, and also being a part of the coaching sessions. So I have worked individually with all of you guys inside of New Sound. So these three elements are the core pillars of New Sound. So I want to hear from you, what has been the most transformative aspect for you? So Sheena, we're going to start with you, and how has that helped you get to where you are today?
I think for me, the most important aspect that I've learned in New Sound was learning about prosody, especially the reduction. Because I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with it, but with this term. But when I first came to the US, like I said, like I had a very basic English, and whenever I hear native speakers speak really fast, I feel like they're just swallowing their tongue for some reason. I'm like, what are you talking about? And when I've learned about this in New Sound, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is where it's coming from. They just like to reduce a lot of words, and that make it really fast for a lot of people to understand. And so that's where I kind of focus my myself into. Like I try to learn more about the reduction, the intonation of words, just so I can sound more natural in English. And at the same time, whenever now that I've learned about all of these things, like whenever I communicate with other native speakers, like it's easier for me to understand them. Like I honestly back then, like I used to watch English films with subtitles, but now I don't really need to, which I'm
Nice.
really, really proud of. And whenever I have a conversation with my husband and, or like we're listening to a podcast, like in the car, like I can easily pick up a lot of words because of this, this aspect of English, which is like the reduction and prosody.
Which is so interesting because it's like, okay, it's just to sound like a native, but no, it's really to be able to live in the language and understand it better and communicate better and deliver a better message, which is, something that we want, especially if we live in English, and you don't want to not have these natural skills that we have in our first language, and we do need to learn them in a second language. So it's
Yes.
yeah,
Absolutely. And it's also good for your listening skills, because a lot of times when you're like listening to someone, you try to like, you have this way of like just like hearing the stress words, but you're not completely knowing the entire
Yeah.
sentence, and you're like
Yeah.
kind of assume, oh, is this what he's trying to say? And it creates a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication, because I've experienced it myself with a lot of people, and it's not good. So
yeah,
learning
those
about
little miscommunications that you can
Yeah.
you can get past it, but it just leaves it weighs on you throughout the day. So it's not
Right.
something.
Yes.
Yeah. So because again, you're gonna leave in a few minutes. What is your
Mhm.
one piece of advice that you would like to give people who were where you were in the past, like people
Mhm.
who struggle with, who feel stuck, who are not confident, who don't know what to do next, who feel overwhelmed? What would you tell them?
Well, first of all, my advice is to surround yourself with people who brings out the best in you. I mean, having this community has helped me a lot with my confidence. Like, I've even though I've learned English growing up, like in school, like it never really helped me progress or learn a lot about speaking. And I got bullied and all that, but ever since I started discovering you on YouTube, and I found out that you have a community where I can hone and practice my English, like I took that opportunity to be active, participate in any activities that we do in order to get to where I am now. So yeah, so I definitely, like recommend you guys to surround yourself with people who brings out the best in you. And yeah, and reach out. Like if you're struggling with your pronunciation or with your mindset, like don't hesitate to ask anyone in the community as well, because we've been through a lot. We share and we help each other. So never ever hesitate to ask for help. And also, like, joining a program is definitely something that will help you get better with your English and to achieve your goals. I mean, for me personally, like it's the best decision that I've ever made, even though at first I was a little bit hesitant, because I was, when I heard that your course was somehow was focusing on pronunciation, I was like, I'm okay with my pronunciation, like it's not perfect, and I know that I can get better, but I'm like, I just want to get better with my communication skills. That's all I ever wanted. But when I joined your program, like I've learned so many things that I've never heard before, and it just transformed me into into someone who can be a very confident in English, in speaking in English. Yes. So yeah, that's my advice to everyone.
I love that. I love that. Surround yourself with a community and don't be afraid to ask for help. Like I take these two things. And of course, if you want, join a program that supports you and can take you hand by the hand, step by step, and show you the way. Absolutely. Sheena, thank you so much for being here. I know that you might stay with us, but I'm not sure you're going to be able to talk. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. I will be here. I'll be watching you guys, listening to each one of you. But thank you so much for this opportunity, Hadar. I will never forget this moment. And yes, have a great day, guys.
Thank you so much, Sheena. Thank you. So now we're going to move to Muxiang. And Muxiang, what has been most instrumental for you in terms of the elements that we talked about?
Thank you, Hadar. I want to add a little bit because earlier I didn't explain why I joined your program, how I
Yes.
found your program. I got carried away. And the last year I was in a program. It's called a storytelling program, and a teacher was talking to me when I said I wanted to create a strong connection with people. She couldn't understand me clearly. She said, "What? Connection? See, they're very close." Then I
Yeah.
one more time just confirmed that I needed to work on my L and N sounds. And also, if I only think about communicating with friends and family, it's okay. My English was good enough. But if I want to advance my career as a leader, apparently I was very passionate about leadership. I felt that I needed to improve my English, even if the nuances that so small people may not notice most of the time, but I noticed it affected my confidence. So in early this year, our company, my new company, encouraged us to find some courses that would help us to gain our skills to better perform our job at work. And then I was searching, I found another program which was also doing accent reduction. But right before I signing up for that course, I discovered you on YouTube. And
Look at that.
I just followed your, in fact, I got that program approved. And then I found you and I followed your YouTube for a few days. And then you opened your free week class. I just followed you, and your approach, your way of teaching, and your view of everything just resonated with me so much. And I immediately, I just wanted to sign up for your class. I couldn't wait for your program to open. And I was wondering what's the new sound that really plays the magic on people. So that's how I signed up for the course. And I want to also utilize this opportunity to thank my employer for supporting me to taking this type
Amazing.
of courses. Yeah, because if just by myself, uh, with my husbands around there, with my native English speakers around me, perhaps it may not be the action I would take right away, but my employer supported that, and I'm very, very grateful. So after I joined your program, I want to say it's really more than I could expect. I simply wanted to improve a few sounds that affected my clarity in my daily speeches. However, I learned so much. It made me so much more confident because now I have become a coach of my own. I know my English is still not perfect, but I know how to correct it. That's
Amazing.
very important because before joining your program, my family has been teaching me one word. It's the world. They couldn't make me to pronounce it for years. Literally, I
I
was
didn't know
frustrated.
this story, by the way. I didn't know this. Okay.
They couldn't make me to pronounce word, work, world in years.
Look at you now.
I know I was like so frustrated too. But over time, I realized that maybe not only L and N affected my pronunciation. The R sounds and the other sounds, and you taught us overall improved my English. So now I have this set of tools, not only this individual sounds also the prosody, which I had never heard of before the program. I thought that even that word itself is beautiful. And also when you taught us how to use our sound, how to do, make the rhythm, it just made the language so much more beautiful. I have been passionate about this language. I have been passionate about improving my public speaking skills and language skills for a long time. And I thought I couldn't have the chances to reach to the level of a native English speaker until I found you. I thought, Hoda could do that. Hoda students could do that. Why I couldn't do it?
Right.
So that's why I'm here. The strongest part is I felt like I have the full set of tools I can use to coach myself in my future practice. And I'm now able to teach a lot of my friends and to spot their issues, and I know how to help them fix their pronunciation issues.
Yeah.
And as public speaking as my hobby, I think this is very, very important.
I think with everything, and thank you for saying that, because this was very intentional. Like, we really wanted our students not just to get feedback from us, even though you guys do, but to be able to understand deeply what is going on, right? Like, if you are mispronouncing something, if there is a challenge, to understand why that is and how to fix it without having to have someone tell you that, because then you have the freedom to do it on your own, because you will not always have a coach next to you telling you yes, no, maybe, right? And you need to be able to detect it with your ears. And for that, there is like a very special training that we do in the process that we do to help you become a coach of your own. And I love it that you that this is what you took from it, because I agree, especially as a public speaker, being able to review your work, give yourself feedback, and improve on it is the secret to everything, really. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
amazing.
as many of you already noticed, I'm surrounded by native English speakers. I really don't have an issue of practicing like many students, non-native English speaker students do, but my native English speaker family and friends, they can speak perfectly. They know how to make their sounds, but they can't help me how to make the sounds. Like I constantly felt like I thought I was doing the same thing that they are doing, but in the end it's different. I just couldn't produce the sound that they produce.
Someone who's not trained doesn't have the tools to explain how to do it in a certain way.
Yes.
That's one thing. And also, speaking more doesn't quantity doesn't guarantee quality. If you're trying to change something, you need to know what to focus on to change it and then repeat it. But if you keep repeating old habits and old patterns, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to change. I mean, you might improve other things the more you speak, but it doesn't change those basic things that you were struggling with.
Yeah.
Okay, so
rather than the confidence, I want to just quickly add to it is recently I already noticed my pronunciation in the R's and in those challenging sounds like a word, those sounds I already could tell. I already implemented those sounds into my daily speeches. And
but also the N's and the L's, I've noticed, because I know that we worked on it together. So I've noticed today when you spoke that you're a lot more conscious of the N's and L's. So that's a huge progress. Yes.
It's my lifetime challenge, and you resolved it for me. I can't thank you enough, Hoda. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Mushin.
grateful.
Well, it's all you. It's all you who did the work, but I'm glad that I was able to be there for you.
Thank you.
So Rosario, what was for you? What was something that was significant in your journey and helped you reach a breakthrough?
Okay. Well, first of all, I discovered the intentional practice, because before I wasn't aware about the sound And when you practice with intentionally, you can start to listen to your changing in your speech. I mean, for example, at the beginning, I put my goal. My goal was to be able to understand native speakers from, I don't know, TV, movie series with an understanding average of, mm, you helped me in that 80%. And I discovered that intentional practice helped me to reach this goal, because
Wow.
the thing is, when you become aware of the sound that you can pronounce, at the same time you can recognize this pattern when you listen to
Yes.
them, sorry. And so I started to understand movies without captions. It was a kind of magic. And also I start to listen to music and understanding lyrics, and before never happened that.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's kind of like your brain was all of a sudden open and chill and relaxed and ready to understand.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Not angry anymore.
no. And I have a fun fact, as Sheldon used to say in Big Bang Theory. One night, I had a dream. It was not just a dream, it was rather than a nightmare. I was scared because it was so dark around me. And but I was happy because I was talking with someone. I was talking with this guy. I don't remember the exact content of this nightmare. I was talking in English. I had my first dream in English. So the day after, I woke up and I started jumping in my bedroom. My wife asked me, what happened? And no, nothing. Don't worry. And I was so excited because uh, I understood that I was doing the right work. I was in the right place with right people, and my advice is to put some fun in the learning process. There are benches of studies that says that if you um, put your how can I say, the harmony, the fun in what you do, you can learn better.
Yeah.
And so this is what happened to me when I was surrounded with these amazing people, Antonina, Luciana, and the other new sounders. We also had, I discovered you a secret. I want to say you that we have a group in WhatsApp, and we share our lives with photos, um,
Hmm.
and we talk about our journey in English, because English, it's something that can that we continue to practice every day, and even outside of New Sound.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
New Sound was
It's a
the
lifestyle, it's like you change the way you
exactly.
behave in life.
Yeah,
English is a part of your life all of a sudden.
I also I remember at the beginning I built a strong um, um, a, a strong practice. I remember I started to practice every day drilling sound uh, in every place. I remember I was at the post office and I started to move my jaw, looking for the right position for the R sound. If you remember, I
At the
I
post
also
office.
I also asked an hot seat with you
Yeah.
for the R sound. It
That
was
was the
funny.
"ah" and the that was challenging for you,
Exactly.
right?
My yeah. Of course, I'm still struggling with them, but now it's better. I have a different R, and the quality of my R, I think that is better than before. And yeah, people maybe started thinking I was weird and crazy, but it was funny. It was funny. I remember a day I was in the park alone, and some dogs start to barking because I was making this sound or looking for my
Trigger the dogs.
yeah. So I want to say that if you are scared, for example, another things, at the beginning I was scared about my family and job commitments, and but with just 20-30 minutes a day, I reached my goal.
Wow.
Of course, some days you can practice more, some days not, it depends. But if you practice on daily basis, even for 10 minutes, it's better than practice for let me say 1 day a week. So
Yeah.
this is
For
the
3
most
hours,
important
right? It's
lesson.
better to do it 10 minutes a day than 3 hours once
And then
a
3
week.
hours, yeah.
Or twice a week, once in 2 weeks, and that's it.
Absolutely. And this is the most important lessons that I learned here.
You know, I because Rosario used to share his practice with us in the group, and you know, you updated us in the coaching sessions, and I think that you are very, very diligent with your practice, and I'm happy to hear that this is your biggest takeaway from the program, the intentional practice and how you were able to make changes, you know, through those daily exercises and studies that you did. So I love that. And I do think that intentional practice is what takes theory into reality, right? Like this is what helps you minimize the gap between all the things that you know and what you're actually able to use. This is the secret. Good. We're going to come back to hear your one piece of advice, but for now we're going to go to Luciana and see what was the most meaningful element in her journey inside New Sound.
Yeah, I've been thinking what made me so engaged in New Sound that didn't make me engaged before, because I tried other programs and I tried the practice with apps, because there are many apps to practice pronunciation now, but I couldn't get engaged or motivated. So I think it's because in New Sound we create a habit, and we work in this, in creating habits. So this practice can fit our schedule, like Rosario said, can be 30 minutes or sometimes 10 minutes, but we can fit in our schedule and make it every day. So it became a habit. If I don't practice, I feel, oops, something is missing today. And another thing is that the practice, the lessons and challenges are fun. So, by the way, the challenges, the people in New Sound and beyond see me hosting sessions, recording podcasts, or even recording sketches, and they think
My
that
favorite
I have always
thing ever now, yes.
I have always been like this, but no, I don't do this in my native language. I started it now because New Sound and beyond have a safe environment where I can feel that it's no problem to make mistakes. And I need this. Like when I was learning to drive, I was really scared, but I could only when I was with my brother, because he allowed me to make mistakes, not dangerous mistakes, but he wasn't angry with me. He was always making me more calm, and then I learned. And in the sound of, I felt this way. I can make mistakes sometimes. I can be myself. I can talk about anything. I feel safe, so I can have progress. And another thing that was game changer for me is the mindset model, because I struggled with speaking even in my native languages. And in Portuguese, I used it to avoid speaking. I was always quiet and hiding myself. And then I remember that I had a hot seat with you, and you said, no, change this mindset. Think that people are eager to hear what you have to say. And I wrote that, and every day I think this in the morning. People want to hear what I have to say. I have voice has power. We need to use our voice. So those are the things that made all the difference.
Wow.
In addition to everything that Sheena, Mustiang, and Rosario already said. That's it.
Amazing. Thank you, Luciana. Such an honor and pleasure having you as a student.
Thank you.
And Fred, what was it about you? I guess mainly the pronunciation work.
Yeah, the first thing I need to say about the program and about what makes me happy about the program is the fact that I noticed one thing just in the beginning of the course. When you said pronunciation is a habit, you need to work as a habit, because I didn't thought about that before, and I was speaking the way I knew. However, some words I was like missing some, the end in the D in the end of words, the R and L. I was like, and then I noticed that I was not pronouncing that words correctly because I didn't have the habit to do it. For example, the word world for me was terrible. I couldn't say, and I use it a lot, but every time when I speak when I said that word was not in a good way, and I noticed that is because I didn't have the habit to do it, because in my own language I don't have it. In Portuguese we don't have this cluster, and then I noticed, okay, it's a habit. I need to work in this aspect and make these words like a habit. I need to use more, as you usually say. You need to put this in your active vocabulary. So I start to do that, and it works very well for me. I start to notice that every time when I use that word, okay, it's getting better. And it's funny because every time when I use a word properly now that I was not able to do before, I remind you. You come to me in my mind and go, okay, Hadar, teach me that, and I'm improving this aspect of the language. So the first thing I think was a game changer for me was thinking about pronunciation as a habit. You need to change your habits if you want to change your pronunciation. And the second thing was the hot seats during the program. For me, was great because we have the chance to ask for feedback from you or other coaches, which is great, because sometimes we think we are doing properly and we are missing something. We need to just fix a little bit about the sound, and then the sound just comes. It starts to work. Yeah. And it's just because one detail that you are missing. So I think this is really important. And the third thing is about the ambassador sessions. Wow, that for me was like amazing, because you have the chance to meet people from all over the world, and you can change. How can I say? Exchange experiences. You can it's I don't know how can I describe this, but it's really incredible to have those type of sessions with people that already was in sound. They pass for the same thing you are passing now, so you have like extra motivation to improve this aspect. But this is
so for those who don't know, our ambassadors are new sounders who took the course in the past, and now they are helping new sounders get through the course successfully, and they host conversation groups. So we actually have daily conversation groups where you can really meet people from all around the world. And sometimes it's more about the conversation. Sometimes it's about, practicing public speaking, like different sessions with different people. So yeah, that's really like, I think it's a part of the community and the support. And I'm glad that this was valuable for you.
A lot. I can say that because it changed the way I thought about the language, and I had a great time there. So I just love it.
Yeah. No, it's so important to see that you are in the same boat as everyone else. So a lot of the things that you think or you experience or you suffer from is actually the universal experience of the English learner. And when you see that, first of all, you feel not alone. You feel safe and supported, because you're not going to you're not afraid that someone's going to make fun of you because you know that they're exactly in the same place. So it kind of like you allow yourself to take your guards down. And when you do, you're more open, you're more vulnerable, and then you're more free because you're not trying to keep yourself safe. And usually when we try to keep ourselves safe when speaking English, we just avoid speaking because then, if we don't speak, we don't make mistakes. But if we let that down, then, there is a whole new person coming out of us and willing to communicate and connect. And this is why I think it's so valuable. Mm-hmm.
Somebody said about the importance to be in a community that can support you, and I totally believe that, because if you are in a place that you are allowed to make mistakes, you are free. Of course, you have your own fears, but you're free to expose yourself in a challenging way. And when you notice that, yes, I can speak, I can improve, I'm doing a great job, people are supporting me. I don't know what happened in our mind, but we get so much more good in speaking.
When we surround yourself in a community or a culture where something, and a habit or a behavior we want to have is the norm, right? Like, let's say in your community, no one wants to speak English. They make fun of you for practicing your English. You're less likely to actually take action and do the intentional practice and all of that. But when you're in a community where practicing English, speaking about English, being open, being vulnerable is the norm, you're more likely to do all of that. Okay, so before we run out of time, I want to make sure that we get to Antonina, and then we get your one piece of advice for everyone. So Antonina, what was the most significant part about New Sound for you?
Well, it's like, of course I have my most significant part, but I just wanted to say one thing. I'm afraid that when we talk about just one most significant part, we don't give it the due to the program, because there's so many small things which make it full, which make it what it is. The thing is that right before enrolling in the New Sound, I also went through a different program. It was not an English program, right? I don't want to name it because I don't want to do them a big disservice, but I paid $600 to be a part of something, to learn something. And what I got was just a bunch of recorded videos and barely any support from the coaches. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, maybe that's how it is. So when I went to the New Sound, and just those first 2 weeks when you still can get your money back, and I'm judging the program for everything it is.
Yeah.
And I was so amazed how different it is, how much support we are getting, how much everything, how much your team is involved, that I actually asked for a refund on that other program. I was like, I'm sorry guys, it's not how you're supposed to work. Yeah, it could be so much better.
I love that.
Yes, while I'm saying that for me the most important part was pronunciation, and I'm a very meticulous person. I need the details. I need details on everything. I need every single thing, because right there's when we are talking how to pronounce the sound, you go on the internet, you will find 100 videos on how to pronounce the sound. I still could not make it. I could not make it exact. I need to know that I got everything. I need the feedback. I need to know I got it. And your program gave me that. So when I'm looking at the sound, there's so much advice on how to make it correctly that at least something is going to click for you.
Yeah.
And but even outside of that, I think that the whole you feel cared for. You feel that that people on the other side of that program, they care that you are feeling good, that everything works for you. And if you are in trouble, if you are frustrated, you are getting a lot of help. So I think that's also very important. And for me, one of the points, so I mentioned that at some point in the program, I started getting frustrated by how much I need to learn. But I trusted the process. And I always felt like I'm not doing enough, but I was just doing something daily. And then I'm getting another session with you, and I'm getting feedback, and you're saying oh yeah, it's no longer your top priority. That sound improved. And I'm like, what? I expected to work on it for another half a year before I'll get an improvement. And I'm like, oh my God, so it works. That's all I need to do,
effect.
and it works.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like that daily, but if you do the work, it does change. And then you're like, oh,
yeah,
nice.
and you're just like, I just haven't noticed it. It just happened, right?
Oh,
and
nice.
after that, I was like, okay, so I got this, so I will get everything else. It will just take a bit of dedicated work with this, but I have the tools and I got the confidence that I will make it. And even after the new sound, after we finished, right, we got so many tools, like, because to be honest, so much stuff gets unlocked only after you finish the new sound.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like you get the entire amount of content when you're done with new sound. Like that's
so many new shiny toys to play with, like here's like practice toolkit. And I feel that even after the new sound, I'm still improving, and I'm still improving a lot, and I still have like a lot, like many tools to work with and to keep improving. So it's not just like you done 90 days and what you got. No, there is like so much stuff after.
I'm so glad that you enjoy that. Yeah, a lot of times our students, like, they have so much to work through inside the program, they don't even get to the bonuses, but there's like so much there. We really want people to have practice materials for years after new sound, so they'll always have something new and interesting, but it also shouldn't be too overwhelming, so you know what to do and all of that. All right, so Antonina, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And let's do one quick round of one piece of advice from each and every one of you to the people watching. So Muxiang, you go first.
Thank you again. And I agree with everyone who shared. And one piece of the advice quickly is follow the program and follow the community. Trust the community. I fell in love with this community. My husband was saying, "You are idolizing Hadar." In fact, in my entire life, I have never idolized somebody, but truly Hadar is my role model, and she is someone who inspires me to be the better me, and give me the hope that I can reach the goal that I have been dreamed about in my entire life, to speak with clarity and confidence. Thank you so much, Hadar.
Thank you so much, Muxiang. And I see a lot of comments, people asking about the program. So just so you know, we're opening doors on Tuesday if you join the masterclass, and on Wednesday we're going to send an email with all the information you can get on the wait list, or you can join the masterclass, because at the end I'll talk about it as well. So just so you know, it's coming up soon. Rosario, what's your piece of advice?
Okay, my piece of advice is don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is the only way to improve, to overcome your fears, and you are in the right place, because here no one will judge you. So this is my piece of advice. And another important thing is take your time to decide, because when you are in, it's impossible to go out. It causes addiction. It's addiction. It's worse than a drug. So take your time to decide.
My husband says it's a sect or a cult or something. He's like, yeah, you guys are crazy all there. Once you go in, you just don't get out.
There's no get out. I was like, it's a new sound world, new sound land.
Okay, and thank you, Hadar, and thanks to Yelena and Christina that helped me a lot during her sessions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rosario. Luciana, what about you?
Yeah, I have a mantra that is something that you said in podcast or YouTube episode, that is, it's not supposed to be comfortable, but it can be definitely be fun, and it is. So have fun, enjoy the process, and don't try to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. So that's it. And thanks a lot, Hadar.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
I love it. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's not supposed to be easy, but it should be fun. I think you combined a few thoughts together and you made it one mantra, and I love that. I'm going to use that now. Fred, what about you?
Well, could I give 3?
Yes, you could. Yes.
Okay, the first piece of advice is believe in yourself. I think if you believe you can do something, nobody can say the opposite. So the first thing I think is that if you believe in yourself, you will achieve what you want. The second one is challenge yourself on a daily basis to do something that scares you, that you are not comfortable. So step out of your comfort zone. I think this can help you to believe in yourself more and know that yes, you can speak English better than you are speaking now. And the third one is if you can join to the program. I think this is going to be a game changer for you, as was for me and everybody here. So yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Always clear and
Thank you.
concise. Antonina, what about you?
Okay, it's unfair for me to go the last. It's like, everyone, I made a few points, which would be my advice, and then I'm just sitting here and crossing them out one after another.
Crossing them out.
God says, can I give 3? And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be left out of options like altogether.
Sorry, Antonina, sorry.
So yeah, of course, like a bunch of great
You
advice.
can repeat the same thought,
I think one of the big for me was to not be afraid to make mistakes. I see it also in my students a lot when they are so afraid and they are overthinking this stuff and they're just not talking because of it. And it's like same even like for me, you need to separate your practice, your intentional practice and your conversation with people. I need to like turn off that switch right now, because if I like, as much as I work on my R's and on the words, like how I pronounce the word, like if I will be sitting here and just thinking about it, I would be getting stuck a lot. So not thinking about it helps. And then I think like trusting like compound effect, that if you do a little bit every day, you won't notice results immediately, but they are there. They are coming. You are on the right path. So just do the work and don't be afraid. And yeah, of course, like I join in on everything because like and yeah, again, whatever you resist, like as what Hadar said to me once, whatever you resist is probably what you have to do. And like following that mantra also helped me a lot, because like, okay, I resist doing shadowing. That's what I need to do. I don't want to, but that's what I need to do.
I have it's the beginning of the school year, and my daughter, we signed her up for a few classes after school, and there was one class she doesn't want to go to, and I was like, listen, go try it and see first, like, because you're resisting going. She wanted to go there and then she's resisting, and I said exactly that. Like, if you're resisting it, maybe there's another reason except for all the excuses that you're giving me right now. Oh, I want this, I want that, I'm too tired. Try to see, because obviously maybe there is some kind of fear there that is preventing you from doing it. Then if you check it and you see that it's not for you, then fine, but not because, like, we need to dismantle this resistance and to understand why that is first. And I'm glad you did, because I think shadowing is good. All right, my dear friends, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your experience and sharing your stories and talking about New Sound, which is about to be open in a few days. For all of you who had questions about New Sound, then again, I'm going to be answering them in the masterclass tomorrow at the end, after I teach you the 3 powerful strategies. And also, we will be available to answer questions over the next 10 days, because registration closes in about 10 days once it opens. So, but back to you guys, you have been so inspirational, for not just for me to see you as students, and then I'm like, this makes our experience as a team so incredible to see the transformation and also to hear you talk about it. So I want to say thank you for being such an incredible part of the community, always available, always open, always sharing your story, because I think that it has impacted so many people without you knowing inside the program. And that's it, for being so awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being
the last piece. I want to add another piece. Is the more we expose ourselves, the more we want to support others, the more we will gain. So in English community or any communities, if you want to get better, you can try to contribute your time and your energy to support others. Then you will get a lot more.
I agree. And I think that ultimately connecting and communicating and getting to a high level in English has to be also about giving. It's not just about what's in it for me. And we see that, and this is why our community is so incredible. And you can see that talking to all of you. So anyway, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching and for your awesome comments. You guys, you have to go read it afterwards if you're not reading it, just to see. I think everyone enjoyed your stories and we're really touched. Thanks, you guys. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Hadar.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this conversation with my incredible students. And if you want to find out more about New Sound, click the link below. If you're watching this as we're releasing the video, registration is still open, but for a few days only. If registration is closed, then click the link below to get on the wait list to join New Sound. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day, and I will see you next week in the next video. Bye.